Hello everyone. So this video is going to be a continuation of a series sharing my experience in the tournament hosted by Amanduuuh38. If you haven't watched the first part, I highly suggest you do. I'll be leaving an annotation link in the video right now at the end and in the description below. So without further ado, let's get right into the game. So we left off with Archon taking first place in the game. Now what I didn't explain very well in my last video was how the tournament format worked. So I'm going to be flashing up the document as to how it was explained to us. If you want to give it a read, feel free to pause the video. But essentially, this is how it worked out. So, even though I didn't take the #1 spot in my preliminary game, I still had a chance to win the whole thing as long as I placed top 5 in my next game. So that was the plan.
Oh my gosh, the dig deep is gone!
There goes the dig deep from Tilt. And Rune's putting the gas down.
Oh no!
Why would he do that? Why would he do that?
So I gave my game a watch to analyze what happened from the commentator's point of view. And first off, I'd like to give a big shout out to my boy Bloodred and Lomer for constantly cheering for me throughout the duration of the match. It warms my heart to have people expecting great things of me, and I hope I entertained you guys. Now, objectively speaking, the average player kill count below 3rd place never exceeded 3 kills. The allocation generally went along the lines of multiple ones instead of one person stacking kills, then dying. So, this means that if I placed 2nd, I would be guaranteed a spot in the finals, whilst placing 3rd would give me a high chance, but not a 100% chance. So, I decided to pick a build that allowed me to run from any situation I wanted to. That included both the speed perks, Speedy Spear, and Leg Day. Taken both would ensure that I was faster than anyone on the map, except for people with an orange juice or speed stim combined with a speed perk. For my final perk, I had to worry about being crippled. If I was crippled, then that completely negates 2 of my perks, so in order to minimize the amount of time that happens, I take Woundless. So I spawn right here again, and I'm thinking, okay, well this is going to be extremely contestable yet again, so I'm going to need to haul ass to that building. I'm going to craft a spear along the way and keep moving forward. I craft caltrops along the way as well. Now I'm going to open up the lockers as fast as I can because I know a guy is coming. And of course, when I take off the brass knuckles perk, I find 2 of them. Now here comes the guy, and he has a crowbar. He does throw a set of caltrops here, but I am still looking to loot the building because I don't have a clear advantage over him. I spot the body armor, and that's the thing I want the most. I do take a bunch of damage from him, but if I manage to get this body armor off, I will guarantee myself the win in this fight. He tries to cancel it by throwing a knife, but it was a millisecond too slow and I get it off, and he's basically secured his death by playing so aggressively. If I were in his position, I would have just let myself have the building, because the person in the building always has the advantage because of the loot or items that they could possibly get in the lockers. Either that, or he maybe should have gotten the armor. So I take an early kill and I feel really good about this game, but I know someone at Weather is more likely coming than not after hearing that fight. And right on cue, you see in the distance of my screen a guy with a blowgun. Now, my ideal strategy was to just play it safe and make it to the top 3, so I was not interested in fighting him at all. But of course, people and their misconception about the point system made them want to play extremely aggressive. Fortunately though, I had 20% movement speed perks from my double speed perks, and there is pretty much no chance that he is going to catch up to me, regardless of what his build is, unless he decided to pop that speed stim almost immediately, seeing me in the distance. I don't think he realized that I had double speed perks because he did chase me for quite a while before eventually giving up. So I'm approaching a gas canister and I plan to use it to separate us because for some reason he's still chasing. And as I'm hitting it, you can actually hear a guy in the sewer, and that's why I didn't run inside that area, because I would trap myself with nowhere to run but forward if I went that way. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to heal up, because I did not manage to heal fully during that first fight. Now, a loot express at Culpeper was occurring, and I wanted to see if I can contest it. So, I decided to make some caltrops. I want 2 sets of caltrops, because the more caltrops you have, the better advantage you have during a fight. So I make my way over to the building. I collect the funk here. Now I can actually hear a guy inside the building. I check to see if there's a gas canister, and unfortunately there isn't. Now, I was thinking about contesting this, but I actually hear a second set of footsteps. This makes for an extremely awkward 3-way fight that could potentially happen if I decided to come along and fight this. So I decide to pretend to run away, circle back crouching, and see if these 2 guys will duke out a fight. If they did start a fight, then I would be there to vulture and kill them and get the loot express. So I'm just sneaking along, and I actually see a guy on the very top of the building, and it looks like he's not going to be contested for this, which is to my disappointment, but that's okay, because my goal isn't to have a strong build, it's to survive. Now I do see this 3rd guy, and he's leaving. I try to see if I can sneak up on him, but I realize that it's probably a dumb idea to try and risk myself for that kill, so I take a different route. I run through here for the +5 funk, and I make my way all the way down the long ass hallway. Now I hear footsteps, and the arrow is actually coming in from the entrance that I entered through, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't walking myself straight into an enemy. So I activate this gas to make sure that he wasn't going to follow me, and the 5 funk, and I make my way back to the crowbar that I threw down on the ground. If I sell this, it will give me enough funk or help me towards my airdrop, because what I really want right now is a backpack, because 5 inventory slots just provide so much utility for a trapper like me. So I'm planning to sell my crowbar at the recycling machine in the sewers, because I activated the gas behind me. The recycling machine there is not available for me to use for quite a bit of time. So I managed to sell it. I get an extra 5 funk for entering this structure, and another 5 for the funk that the guy who looted this building left, and I make my way to call in my airdrop. I did see an airdrop at the pad close to the mountain house area, so that's where I plan to go. Now, if you're wondering why I grabbed the branch there, it's because I'm planning to turn my spear into a bow. Now, there is a flaw with my thinking, but during the time I did not realize it. All I was thinking was, if I make this bow, then my airdrop will come down faster, so less people will hear my airdrop, and I can get this over with, because I don't like to be in this vulnerable state where I am forced to stay in this area for my airdrop. If I make this bow, I won't have a weapon, and I will be in an extremely vulnerable state, because one of my perks will be negated, and people with a runs with knives or speedy spear is going to be able to catch up to me, which I do not like. Hopefully no one comes along for this airdrop, and of course, because I am in a panic state, I miss every single shot at this airdrop. I finally get this airdrop down and I hear gas being activated in the distance. It was actually quite close. I get hit by a blowgun, so my first priority is to grab everything in the drop so I don't miss anything and pop my OJ so I can get away from this fight, because I don't have a weapon and I'm not interested in fighting at all. I don't mind wasting the OJ to save my life or get away from a risky situation. I was not in a correct psychological state to fight that fight due to the amount of bow shots I missed, so I was not willing to fight at all. Some people may think it's a waste of an OJ, but when my win condition is to survive to second place, I don't care about it. I will use it to survive. So now it's time to start prepping for my base. I make some snares here because I want to place them in the center. Now, while this tournament was going on, we were in a culling tournament lobby, so you're about to hear something.
Oh my god!
That tilted me so hard. I had to alt-tab and mute myself or deafen myself in the Discord chat. Otherwise, I would just be annoyed by this random kid talking. Like, holy shit. But it was pretty funny how he synced his oh my god with me finding a recurve bow, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Unfortunately, I forgot where I dropped my bandage, so I spent the next 30 seconds looking for it because I really wanted this bandage. Still looking for it. I thought that rock was my bandage, but it wasn't. Giving up on finding my bandage, I make caltrops and I make my way over to mid because I am wasting too much time for just an extra 40 health. What I need to do is make my base so I can secure an area and be safe from all the bowmen. Gather this funk along the way and keep making my way to mid. Now I hear these guys fighting and I go ahead and check it out, try to get some free damage. Unfortunately, I get absolutely wrecked and I decide, well, screw it. I'm just gonna go make my base. You guys do you. So I decide to place my snares here so that it would be a clear statement that, hey, this is my area. Stay away. There's actually a more efficient way to place them than the way I did, but I did not know that at the time. And it takes more precision and time to do it, so in my personal opinion, it's not worth my time, because that extra 5 seconds it takes to place, I could have 2 more sets of traps placed down. So I do heal up here and I start crafting caltrops for my life. And as always, I want to have a crafted gas bomb ready for mid. After the gas closes in, I will not have access to this, so it is pretty important that I make it as soon as possible and just stash it near my base. Now this guy starts shooting at me and he clearly wants to fight because he popped something, but I am not about it, so I just run through here and I kite him. I'm going to try to do the exact same thing I did to that other guy with the trident. Unfortunately for me though, he does have a compound bow and he's actually very good with it. So I decide to straight disengage the fight with my gas grenade. It's unfortunate that I had to use it there, but he popped an OJ, so he could run faster than me. If he had leg day and the speed boost from OJ, he would be at 22% speed and I would be at 20% speed, and it certainly felt like that he was at 22% speed. Now I just need to heal up to full, and with only 20 funk remaining, that's pretty much all I can do. I can't craft armor with that amount of funk, so I'll just have to live with it. But you know what I can do with 14 funk remaining? That's right, I can craft caltrops, my best friend. Then Xavier is going to see this video and the one before that, and it's gonna get nerfed to the ground, but it is an early access game, so I don't mind. Now I do hear them fighting in the distance, and I actually looked up at the scoreboard here, and I was surprised to see both of them have 4 kills. So I hear that smoke bomb pop, and I think it's Angry Octopus, so I know one of them is extremely low health. Then I hear that medkit, and I start looking for that person, and I luckily find them. I manage to pick him off for a free easy kill, and this guy starts trying to medkit. I think he got it off because he was at full HP, but he does have a fireman's axe, and things are looking bad for me. But what he just did there was he threw his fireman's axe, so he's only fighting with his fists. And I was like, okay, well, this is my opportunity to back off and heal. So I take that opportunity to do so. Now, I run back to engage on him, and I'm guessing here he just did not expect me to close the gap so fast with my double movement speed perks. And I gotta give props to this guy for being a true man and saying, fuck my fireman's axe. I will beat you down with my fists. The fight does get really close, and I'm pretty worried here. But I end up with the win.
Nicely done.
Oh god!
Oh, the end! Oh, and Bruins! That's the victory there.
He throws the axe, doesn't pick it back up, and Runes. You realize Runes took that entire game with a craft spear, right?
That's insane.